think we're ready to start. Good morning. My name is Mary Van Dyke. I am the owner of Finding Grandpa. It's a genealogical research service. Today I will be showing you how you can go to different websites to find documents that might show where in Ireland your ancestors are from. Before we begin, the websites I'm showing you today are websites that I use. Just an example of what's out there. I use them all the time. I use multiple sites. And I flip-flop between different sites because different sites have different databases. Be aware that in your handout I marked several of them as free versus paid so that you could know if there's a subscription involved. Those free websites might change in the future. I'm going to use various surnames in my sample, so I don't want to confuse you because I'm tracking a Sweeney and then I flip to a McDonald and then I go to a Riley. I'm going to go very fast. If you have any questions, please jot them down on your handout. Take one of my business cards or on the back table. If you need me to clarify anything, or if in 3 weeks you get home and then start getting into these sites and forget something, please email me. I will love to clarify. There are going to be several websites that I can't get to, and I can walk you through them if you have difficulty. We are going to videotape the class and put it on YouTube, so if anybody would like to see it again, please email me and I will give you the link. Now, location in Ireland is critical. We're talking about townlands, not just County Cork. But once you have a location, you can find records. This was given to me by my parents in 2008, represents 4 generations of the Sweeneys in Loughrea. And once I started researching, I found the same this data on the same 4 generations. Basically what I did is I found a church, Catholic church microfilm, and I ordered the 2 films, had birth, marriages, and deaths in Loughrea. And from a period of 9 months to a year, I would come here 2 or 3 times a week, and I would scroll through all the pages that I could see in the church register, and every time I saw the name Sweeney, I took a copy of that page on their copier machine. I'd get home, take the 5 to 10 pages that night, and I'd sort it. I sorted them in piles on my bed according to the families. And I was able to figure out how everybody was related. And because of this, I was able to organize a family reunion in Loughrea in '09, and over 100 people came. Now, we had people from Poland, England, 20 people from America. We were all descendants of this 4 generations, and nobody really knew how they were related until I pieced it all together. So if you know a location, you can find records. I'll give you a quick scenario of how Ireland, the island, is related to the size of New Mexico. They have 32 counties, we have 33. They have over 6 million people, we have over 2. The size of Ireland, on the island, is 1/4 our state. That's Ireland. Now, why is it so hard to find records in such a relatively small area? Multiple things happened. Across the top, I have census records that were taken. Now, there are more census records, but I stopped at 1911 because we can't access them yet. Various events happened that impacted how we can find records. These are a few of them. In the 1840s and 50s, people emigrated heavily. They lost about 1/4 in that 10-year span between mid-1840s when the famine started to the mid-1850s. They lost 1/4 of their state. Over 2 million people left. That's like the whole state of New Mexico getting up and moving to Canada. Everybody left. They didn't leave just because of the famine. They lost around 1 million people during the famine years. But they lost another 1 million or more in the few years after, because that's when the landlords started seriously enforcing the land taxes on the tenants. People couldn't pay their taxes. They were evicted. Landlords even evicted people who were tenanting on very small lots. because when Griffith's valuation was done, anybody who was renting a spot that was valued at £5 or less was exempt from having to pay the tax. But the landlord had to pay the tax. He was still on the hook for it. So the loopholes many of the landlords found: evict the tenant, merge that piece of property to the neighboring, and now the new tenant has to pay, and the landlord doesn't pay. So people got evicted left and right. They were lured to America for many reasons, one of them being probably the gold rush, 1848 to 1852 range. It also became very easy to travel to America, so a lot of them came here. Another thing that impacted us was civil registration did not start until 1864. That is countrywide. Birth, marriages, and deaths were required to be recorded. However, in 1845, non-Catholic marriages were required to be recorded. So if you have an ancestor that's non-Catholic, that married after in 1845, you could probably find the records. Census records were destroyed in multiple years. In the yellow, 1886 destroyed 2 decades. Government in Dublin thought they were supposed to destroy all those records after the 81 census. Mistake. In World War I, in the orange, government destroyed 2 decades on purpose, making pulp, probably a paper shortage. In the red, 1922, Civil War. 4 Courts fire. This is the 4 Courts fire. Burning buildings. Now, there are remnants of those first 4 decades in red for various counties and various years. It's available online right now to search at the National Archives or at familysearch.org. This image impacts me the most. That's a mushroom cloud. That impacts me the most. I'm frustrated as a genealogist. I'm sad. My relatives, my ancestors, their names are in that ash. I don't see major burning going on around that. This, to me, tells me that's when the arsenal blew up. I don't think that's one mortar shell. I think it's the stockpile that everybody keeps saying the rebels had in one of the rooms. But because of that, this happened. And why we struggle so much. But of all this chaos and catastrophes that affected how we research, there is one item that is significant to us today. Civil registration began in 1864. That's your glass is half full scenario. That was decades before a lot of our states were required to register births and marriages and deaths. So if your ancestor was born or got married after that date, you have a good shot at finding him or her in records, and therefore finding siblings, parents. So where do we begin? What do we do? You've got to look at American records. You're going to talk to relatives and find out who remembers what, who was told what, that Grandpa John came over from County Cork. Don't dismiss any tidbit of information. You're going to search multiple records. Don't stick with just one census that says they came over in 1903. You've got to find multiple records for clues in case that varies. You're going to gather all your data and look at the big picture. And you're going to do cluster genealogy. That is tracking whole families through time, not just your direct line. I'm talking about siblings of your direct line. Let's show you a perfect example. In preparing for this class, I wanted to try to find some more on a couple of lines. My direct line, Peter Sweeney, great-great-grandfather. The only record I have for him is his death record, 1896 in Loch Ray. I don't believe his age on that record is correct. I have nothing that says where he was born, so I started tracking one of his brothers, John. I know he married Mary McCullough. My cousin Mary in Dublin actually found their marriage certificate, says his father is John, and John was a carpenter. So both these Johns, Dad and this man, are carpenters. My direct line, carpenters. So in the IGI files, back in 08 and 09, I found all the kids of John and Mary. I also found John and Mary and a few of the kids in the 1901 census in Woodlawn. I can't find them in 1911. John and Mary probably died in Woodlawn in that 10-year span. Can't find any of the other kids. I don't know where anybody moved. I don't know who married who, except Elizabeth. I found an IGI record that said Elizabeth Sweeney married Percy Pierce, 1907, New York. Okay, I'm doing cluster genealogy. I'm tracking Elizabeth. She's in America. I looked for her in the 1910 census. I found her and Percy working at the Manhattan Hospital the night of the census. They're married to each other, but they're both nurses. They're working at the hospital. But Elizabeth says she's the mother of one child. Thinking, who's watching the baby? Mom and Dad are at work. I can't find a baby Pierce in the 1910 census. But I did find the family in 1920. Consuela is 12 years old. So I go back to the 1910 census. I am a census-holic. Hello, my name is Mary. I am a census-holic. I'm doing cluster genealogy. I must dot my I's. Where is Consuela in 1910? Who's watching that baby? Widow, grandmother, Mary Sweeney. Her two aunts, grandma, and the cousins, the Armitage boys, all came over together in 1903. Mary Jane Armitage is also a widow. That tells me, okay, John died in Woodlawn between 1901 census and 1903 when Mary came over. So I'm trying to narrow down that range. I want to find Mary in a ship manifest. Did she come in January '03? December of '03? I'm trying to narrow that down so I can find John's death.
How did you get the name Armitage?
I found them in another IGI file. I found the index for Mary Sweeney, Father John, Mother Mary McCullough, marrying William Armitage. But I don't know how to pronounce it. Armitage? So I hunt hard for Mary, Mother Mary, in the 1903 ship manifest. Can't find her. I can't find daughter Ellen or Mary Jane. I can't find Alexander. I'm tracking them one at a time. I can't find any of these people. But I did find Robert. When I started looking for Robert Armitage in the ship manifest, he and William are written at the top of the ship manifest page. And they're little boys. They're like 3 and 7. So who are they come over with? I look at the previous image, and at the bottom of the page, it's torn. The last 10 or 12 names are ripped in the ship manifest. Nobody will ever find that family. However, they are all, including John, all from Woodlawn. The older couple, the male and female, are going to their son, William Sweeney, in New York. The two middle-aged women, brother, William Sweeney. And the little kid at the bottom, he's going to uncle, William Sweeney. I got John Sweeney in America in 1903. I found him in the 1905 census, so he's still alive, but I know he's gone by 1910. Mary's a widow. So I went to the Italian Genealogical Web Group and looked in the database. Show me all the John Sweeneys that died in Manhattan between 1905 and 1910. I thought there'd be like 50. There's only 18. I sorted the results by age. I've got 2 guys that are real strong possibilities, just 2. But I've got certificate numbers and specific dates of death. So I went back to Family Search and I looked in the New York Death Certificate Index under Vital Records, and I ordered the films that had those certificate numbers on them. Come on in. The films came in last week. I have John's death certificate. His mother is Mary Fitzmaurice. I now know my direct line's parents for a fact. Back in '93, my mom and dad went to Loch Ray. Her cousin Maureen, they sat down for tea at her kitchen table. She gave my dad a copy of a family tree that her dad had made. Top of his tree, John and a Mrs. Fitzmaurice. First wife. Second wife, we don't know who. Now, we could never really tie that together because we didn't know, since he married twice, which woman was the mother of all the kids. Well, my John that I just tracked in New York is the baby in the family. His mother's Mary Fitzmaurice, first wife. That means all the other kids are Mary Fitzmaurice's. It's a logical conclusion, but now I can track this somehow. I wouldn't have been able to find that if I didn't do cluster genealogy, looking for the grandkids of a sibling on my direct line. It's important. Track them all. Now, hopefully showing you what records you can look at and websites that you might find the records at, we're going to build a bridge back to Ireland. Census records can show 1900 through 1930 when you arrive. Expect fluctuation. I got 3 different years here. However, 2 out of 3 are very close together, and that's what I'm shooting for. I don't care that it's a couple of years. It's better than 47 years. I want to narrow it down. I can find records that show when this man arrived in America. It says he was naturalized and naturalized in '89. Give or take a couple of years, I expect fluctuation in records. This man, Mr. Hugh O'Reilly, filled out his naturalization and declaration of intention forms saying he was born December 26. One document says 1877, the other one says 1878. Doesn't matter to me. I got a specific date, December 26. I don't care if I'm looking in 1 or 2 years. I can find that record. It says he was born in Longford County. But it says he arrived on the Teutonic November 15th, 1894. He remembered the name of the ship like 15 years later. So I go to that ship manifest. Mr. H. O'Reilly across the top that arrived on that date is from Aughanorran. It didn't say Ireland. It didn't say Longford. Aughanorran is a townland in Longford County. I got where that guy's from. I also found another man, Peter, on the same ship, probably a brother or a cousin. These 2 men traveled together from the same townland. City directories can help track your ancestor through time and possibly narrow down when they died. I got Peter McDonald in the 1855 census and 1880. I cannot find him in any other census. I can't find him, I'm hunting hard. But I tracked him in the city directories from the mid-1850s, excuse me, to the mid-1890s. I lose him in the 1897 printing, which probably was compiled in 1896 when they went door to door to gather the information. I've got his death, probably, because he might have moved, narrowed down to a 3 to 5 year range. Better than 47 years. I got it. That's your grandfather's grandfather. Yours. This is James, James's dad, and Peter gave him the blacksmith shop from 10th Avenue across from Penn Station. He had that shop since the early 1860s.
Peter was James's father?
Yes. Military records can show you, sorry, that's another. Military records can show you where your ancestors are from. We've got a World War I U.S. State Department letter that was sent around to some of the soldiers. This guy wrote his exact birth date and townland. We've got on the right a Civil War roster. It says he's from Queenstown and he's 19 years old. The one in the center is a World War II registration card. Exact birth date, again, might vary. I found men lied about their ages to get into the wars. So, expect variation, but I got a month and date. County Galway. Marriage records of your immigrant ancestor and their children, because it says how old are you and where were you born? Who were your parents? So, cluster genealogy when you're searching the records. Birth records, again, all American-born kids. Who are your parents? Where were they born? Maybe one of them has more than just County Galway. Death records of the immigrant and their American, or any actual children in America. Death records. It either says birth date or age at death. Where were you born? Who are your parents? Where were they born? You know, look for the whole family to try to find something on someone. Newspapers. You search newspapers, you can find probate records. The 2 on the left are legal notices because that man, Michael Cannon, owned a bar and he died without a will. He had family. His estate went to probate and they had to publish so that the relatives could make a claim on an upcoming hearing. Hopefully an obituary will show you when they came to America, where they came from, who is he survived by, family members. Maybe it shows his parents or siblings and where they're staying. Or children, maybe married names of the daughters that you don't know who got married to. Probate records, we got a will on the left. Can mention the children and spouse, and hopefully in these you can actually find the married names of daughters at the time the will was written. Probate file on the right, full names and locations, because they had to contact the family in order to publish and give them notice that a hearing is coming up to settle the estate. Internet websites that you might find this information on. I'm not going to spend too much time on Ancestry. If you need help manipulating through Ancestry, please email me, I'll walk you through it. Now you can either click the search tab at the top, select a type of collection, or type in your data in the main body, or you can scroll down on the main page, select a state, and Ancestry will tell you what types of records are available for it. You can select each record independently and search for your family. You can also sort it down further into certain counties, and it will tell you county-specific records. Family search. Click the search button. I don't recommend you typing in your data there and clicking that blue search button, because it will only search items on this database, and on this website rather, that are transcribed. Family search has tons of collections that are uploaded to the internet that are not yet transcribed. It's a work in process. However, it's as if they gave us immediate access to tons of microfilm that you'd have to order independently. So go to the world map, select United States, click the state you're interested in, that your relatives lived in, and it will show you what records are available for that specific state. This is what I'm talking about down the right column under records. Items with numbers, those are transcribed databases. Items that say browse images, you have to manually go in and look at them independently. And I'm going to show you New York, yes?
Did you say go to the map?
World map,
Where is that?
Right there.
upper right corner,
So, let's see, where is that in family search?
right on the main page.
And so you click the world map and then you can subdivide, you can work your
When you
way
go to
down.
family search, this is the main page. When you click the search button, that's what you see. The
And so
image of the world map is right here.
So you click the world map.
I'm going to put my mouse over any country, and it will light up in yellow. If I click on it, the box appears and tells me what's available. I can either see all United States, which is at the very top of the list, or scroll down and select a country. I'm going to show you New York State probate records, which is right now browse images only. When I select that collection, it shows me the counties that are available. Not all counties are there. That means those counties don't have records online here in this batch. So I'm going to select Erie,
That
multiple, sorry,
That day.
that day. This is an ongoing, constantly changing thing. You need to be aware of this. Come back often. In Erie, currently, these are the lists, plus multiple more. Notice my little cursor's way up there, scroll bar. There is a lot more records in Erie County, and I could only show you a screenshot right now. You could see wills, letters of guardianship, letters of administration, multiple indexes, and each collection varies by county, which varies by state. So I strongly recommend browse around, poke around in those images and find out what's available. Under the catalog tab, you can click a place name search. This is how I found a film for the Loch Rae Church records. I typed in Loch Rae. This tells me the collections that are available in Utah, in the main library, not necessarily online or in this building. I'm interested in church records. I selected that tab, and the title Parochial Registers, the Registry of Loch Rae. When I click that, it gives me more information about what that collection is. Scroll to the bottom, tells me specifically first marriages and deaths with date ranges are on these films. I ordered the 2 films simply by clicking on the number. Current price is $7.50. It's here in a couple of weeks, and you've got access to it for 3 months. You need it more? Just extend it for another $7.50. You've got it again for 3 months. USGenweb.org is a volunteer website sorted by state Click the state your ancestors were from, relatives lived in. Each state is divvied up into counties, and each county page is maintained by different people. It's all volunteer. One county like Sandoval might have courthouse links so that you can access civil records. Another, maybe Bernalillo County, they went around and over a period of time transcribed all the cemeteries in Bernalillo County. Multiple information is available, but it varies by county, by state. Italian Genealogical Group website was created for those of Italian descent who lived in New York City. However, when they uploaded the birth, marriage, death databases, and there's more databases you can see on the left, they sorted it according to borough, and they didn't pay attention. It's not just Italians, it's everybody they had the access to the records for. Fold 3 is a paid website, mostly military records. However, they do have a non-military record collection, and I searched naturalization indexes for New York City courts. I picked 1879, there's 5,000 names on their website, right there. So it shows you the variety of what's available on Fold 3. I could also search their whole database by clicking the search tab, type in a name, type in a location, and a date range. Everything will pull up. You can narrow your results by state and by year. Ellis Island. Yes, sir.
Yes, I believe they have Fold 3 at the Albuquerque Public Library, main library, second floor.
That's actually a very good point. Ancestry, any of the paid websites you might be able to access for free here or at an Albuquerque library. The library editions are available.
You can also do it from home with your library card number.
Correct, because you're basically signing in off-site. Ellis Island just changed their website a few weeks ago. It's in beta mode. Expect changes. Currently, right now, if you click the Ellis Island tab, this is basically, I'm looking for ship manifests. Way down at the bottom, I type in passenger search, type in a first initial, last name, click the blue arrow. Notice on the far left, there are 117 search results. I want to narrow it down, so I click the narrow your search button. I say I'm looking for males who are single, and I click the forward arrow. I narrow his year of arrival, not to just 1903. I want to spread because I don't trust one record with one date. Only one result popped up, Milo Robert. And when I click on his name, I get this screen. All I have to do is move my mouse cursor over that image and I can see the original ship manifest. Castle Garden is an index of people who arrived in New York State between 1820 and when Ellis Island opened. It's basically indexes only. Click the search tab. Show me all the James McDonalds that arrived between 1850 and 1855. There are only 32. I sorted it by age. I'm looking for a little boy, about 5 years old, who arrived at 53. He's not in that list. There's nobody in 53. That doesn't surprise me, because I don't know if 53 was the true year. I only have one document that says that. Now, basically, I'm looking for the first 4 or 5 names. I want to find out who came with these boys. So I am going to make a note of the months and the years that these boys arrived at. And I'm going to say, show me all the McDonald's that arrived in 1850. And when it gives me 5,000, I'm going to sort it by arrival date. And look for the family, all the McDonald's that arrived on May 4th, the first line. I'm going to do it again for the second line. I want to know who these boys came with, hopefully with my Peter and his mother Margaret, or an older sibling. That's what I'm doing. But also be aware, I typed in McDonald with no spaces. If I typed in a space, I get a different search result. Play with the names. I Google everything. I Google locations. I want to find out about histories. I want to find them on the map. I want to know information on locations. When I Google names, I always use quotes. I tried Patrick J. And it'll narrow it down or widen it up. But if I use quotes, I get a much stronger search result. Maybe Google has searched a history book that talks about him, that's been scanned and online. Maybe it's another family tree. Maybe it's a newspaper index. I'm hunting for anything that might give me information on Patrick J. Finnegan. I actually searched books and I found a 1904 pamphlet print of my cousin's grandfather. He was in jail for 20 years and they printed that pamphlet when he got out. Find a grave. Volunteer worldwide, not just America. Heavily in America, but it is worldwide. People are walking graveyard and cemetery by cemetery, transcribing and photographing headstones, uploading the data to this website. This changes daily. All volunteers. So if I search the database, I want to look for any Patrick Kelly who is buried, not died. He might have died in Indiana. I just know where he's buried. In Erie County, New York, there are 7 men. I know this is my guy because I poked around all 7 of them. I see an image of his headstone. I can agree, it does say 1861. What if it really said 1867, but the guy who uploaded thought it was a 1? You always want to look at the original image and judge for yourself. Now that I know this, ma'am.
If the image isn't there, you can also put in a request.
Correct.
Oh, yes.
And
Photo
someone, a
request.
volunteer will
I do it
go.
all the time. If I don't see a headstone, photo request. Hopefully within a couple of weeks, somebody in the area will pop over and take a photo. This is important, to see that original image. Now, what I want to do is search the whole cemetery for all the Kellys. Hopefully I'll find more of them that are buried in that section number. I want to know, is his parents or his siblings, spouse and children? I'm trying to confirm family relationships and birth and death dates on the family. So I can search the whole cemetery for all, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. It'll sometimes tell you right in that print.
It will,
Yeah.
because sometimes people will link family members together.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll upload photographs of people, or obituaries,
Yeah.
or do
That's great.
biographies. They upload those. So this is a website that has healthy data, even if it's just basic like this: death year, birth year. Chronicling America is a newspaper free website put on by the Library of Congress to see what states are available. Just click all states and it'll show you what's uploaded now. Ongoing project. You can narrow your search results by year, type in your data and click search. Newspaper Archives is a subscription. You click the advanced search tab, you can do the same thing. Show me everything on John Smith. You can narrow down the years and you can select the state or the city or even the publication, like Albuquerque Journal. Newspapers.com, different database. They are not duplicated, is my point. Go to multiple sites. Search for your name, narrow down your years, type in your, what do they got? They got anything? When I did this, nothing on here. But when I went to Old Fulton Postcards, free website, my James, front page of the New York Times. His death was so eventful. Front page of the New York Times. Different database. Ignore the clown. You will hear bangs. You will see floating fish. Ignore it all. Tom is allowed to be silly. One man in his house has ordered hundreds of reels of New York State and surrounding area microfilm. He bought a machine that will scan it and digitize it. He bought massive computers, created a whole server system. It's in his gazebo on his porch. This man is allowed to have a silly clown. He's doing it for free. 26 million records, pages, massive quantities, and he's going and going. Send him $20 to help pay his electric bill. I would suggest you click the frequently asked questions page. It shows you how to narrow your search results. Because if I just said search for any James McDonald's, over 5,000 page hits pop. And it shows you how to narrow your search results. Now hopefully going through all these records and these websites, you can build a bridge, even if it's rickety, even if it just says County Cork. We want to get to Ireland. Now once we're there, be aware of the different verbology of how Ireland calls locations. The whole country, the whole island, is divvied up into counties. Those are like our states. The barony and poor law union are the old phrases of what they call the registration districts. It's how they broke up the different counties. Those are like our county level. The parish is not Catholic or Protestant. It's not a church parish, it's the civil parish. Those are like our cities and metro areas. The townland is your ultimate goal. Those are like our neighborhoods, like Fort Hills or Ventana Ranch. You will see DED in census records. It's the District Electoral Division. That's a whole other name. So be aware of the variations. You can find land records on your ancestors. I'm talking specifically at Ask About Ireland, Griffith's Valuation. This is my great-great-great. This is your grandfather Michael's grandfather Michael.
Okay.
That's Michael Cannon's dad at Sean's house. And that's his father down in the corner, the two circles. That's in a timing. You can find in the 1840s, 50s, they did the Griffith's valuation between 1847 and 1864, where the assessors walked the island left to right or top to bottom. They just did a wall-to-wall valuation of all the property so that they could say, you owe us $5 in tax. That's why they did it. And they listed the tenants who were in those lots, not just landowners. Census records are available just like here. We got 1901 and 1911. Hopefully Ireland gets through its red tape and we get 1921 tomorrow. They have a 100-year law where they cannot post anything or release records for 100 years from a person's birthday. But hopefully, because of the major issues in their genealogical researching, they give us 1921. It's on the edge right now that the government might approve it. You've got the remnants for the first 4 decades of the censuses. Marriage records can be found. I've got an index on the left, but a film number for that, so I can order that. The one on the right is a Catholic church image from one of the films that I ordered from Lochray, 1863 marriage of this couple. Birth records. This is the same girl. It's your grandmother, Delia. 1865. We've got the Catholic baptism record on the left. Priest wrote when she was born, when she was baptized. It's got maiden name of mom, and it's got, obviously, the godparents. Civil registration over here on the right, dad was a carpenter, and they're living on Galway Road in Lochray, and mom's maiden name. Death records. I've got the index in the upper left corner. I can order the film for that. I've got a copy of his death of the civil registration page. Shows that Peter was a carpenter, how old he was when he died, and this is the one I disagree with. I think he's 5 years younger, actually. And who did the reporting. Probate records are available if someone left an estate, or a will rather, at National Archives. This is another Peter Sweeney. It says, late of Lochray. That's where he normally lived, but he didn't die there. He died in Knockacurra, don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, and left his estate to his wife Delia. So look for probate information. Headstones. I love Irish headstones. This is from Find a Grave. Alan and I went in 2011, and we photographed the entire cemetery at the Abbey, plus about half of the cemetery at Gary Breda, and uploaded them to Find a Grave. The one on the left says, erected by Annie Moynihan in loving memory of her husband Edward Moynihan, late head constable RIC. That little bit of clue lets me know that that guy's probably in the newspaper somewhere or in the RIC records. The one on the right just shows you multiple family members are buried in the lot. We've got John Conair, his daughters Ellie, Delia, Mary, wife Ellen, son Martin, in the same lot. Everybody's with an exact death date. The one in the center, that's your gold. Patrick Cahill of Cloudmore, Claymore, Ballinasloe, miles away from Lochray where he's buried. That's a whole nother townland. And whoever found that family can go now over to the other townland and do more researching there. Newspapers can be found. On the website, on the handout, I've got Irish Times and Irish Archives, Irish News Archives. You pay to see the results, but you can search it. Hopefully you're finding obituaries. the internet websites that can show you more information about it, and I'm going to be running out of time very rapidly. I'm going to run very quickly through this. I want to stress about Ask About Ireland. I'm going to ignore place name search right now because you must get it exact according to how it was written in the 1850s. There is no sound X. Play with the spellings. I'm going to do a place name search, pick any county. I just want to get myself to the main map. So I pick Longford and I tell it to search. There are 996 townlands in Longford. I pick the first one. Far right, large magnifying glass will show me the old map. That's the old map. I don't know if you can see that red square in the center, but within that square is that townland Ogvaden, the very first one on the list. I don't know where I am. Where in Ireland am I looking? So the first thing I'm going to do, on the far left, there's the zoom in and out buttons. I zoom way out. Horizontal bar on the upper right. If it's all the way to the right, you see old map. But if you scroll it all the way to the left, you got current Google map. And I can also click a satellite button in the upper corner and see the satellite view. So now I know where I'm at on the island. I'm going for the area of Grenard because I found where Mr. H. O'Reilly from the townland of Auganoran on that ship manifest, I Googled it, I figured out where it was. I want to see it now on the old map in Griffith's valuation. So I re-zoom in and I place that Grenard area on my screen. Now that I'm there, I'm going to take my horizontal bar, shove it all the way to the right so that I can see the old map. Now that I know where I'm at. This image is roughly 10 miles by 15 miles, roughly. Notice all the red shapes. Those are our borders of townlands. Your ancestors are from one of those. Throw a dart. If you don't know, this is why we have to find what townland are they from. Notice the white square versus the red. That's because when they pixelated this, they basically took old maps, they scanned them, digitized them, put them together so that we could, in a panorama mode, manipulate around the map. They probably didn't have the red style, and I'll show you the red, why I'm saying this. Maybe that page was damaged or missing in the original map book. They had to find a substitute so that they don't have a hole when we go to search. Now when I zoom way in, and I'm going to zoom way in and I'm scrolling all around this whole townland, I want to know where is the nearest Catholic church. Hugh O'Reilly was Catholic. Where's the church? If I lived there in 1850, where'd I go to church? Where the star is the nearest church in another townland. So now if I'm looking for Catholic church registers, I need to look for Clonard. For that chapel, RC Chapel is how they label it on the map. I go back to Auganoran's name. I want to get the exact spelling because I'm going back to place name search, the original page. I type in Auganoran in the place name, Longford County, and this is my result. Who lived in that townland? If I click the occupants button, it will show me 28 people live there. If I clicked see original page, it's going to take me to the original valuation page. I need to zoom in, so I got to scroll my bar down so I can access the zoom feature. And I'm reading all the data. I'm looking for Rileys in the townland of Auganoran. There are 4 on 3 different lots. The lot numbers are on the left. The tenant, whoever's occupying the lot, might even be the owner of the land, is in the second column. Third column, who they paid. Then it moves on to description of the property, size of the property, value of the property. So I'm looking for Peter Riley in lot 13. It's corresponding to the map. If it was red, the white map is a substitute. Each lot you can see is marked off, but I don't know which one is which. I cannot find where Peter Riley lived. Ideally, this is what you find. A red map where heavy red borders is the perimeter of the townland. Within it are the lot numbers. I know Michael Cannon was living or tenanting those 2 pieces of property. Now my goal, Google Map. Upper right corner, I click satellite view, horizontal scroll bar, I go halfway over. I want to see half old and half new map. They overlap each other because I still want to see lots 14. Now, I can go to Ireland and drive right to that place because I see the lot numbers from the old map and today's highways. I could even go to Google Map and go to Street View, use a little walking guide. I'm there, even before I leave the house. I'm
What
cruising.
did you click to get the Google map up?
Go to google.com on a whole nother window. Oh, to get this
And
image,
that, yeah, the overlay.
the upper right scroll,
Oh, okay.
the horizontal scroll, all the way to one side is all Google, all the way to the other is the old map. Halfway in, you get the overlay. And that's my goal. Ask Ireland Reaching Out is a volunteer website. The organization started 4 years ago. I'm a volunteer. I've given you pamphlets. They are changing the website as we speak. Hopefully it'll be up and running by the end of the year. So I'm not going to show you too much about it. Again, it's all volunteer. You can find your parish. You don't know, maybe you say, my ancestors from Oganoran in Longford County. I don't know what parish it is because I don't find Oganoran in their parish listings. Go to the Longford County page website, send a message. Somebody will tell you what parish you can go to. Within each parish, and they have a variety of parishes, I think there's 2,500 parishes currently that are part of the organization, multiple volunteers throughout the whole island. Those people will help you. That's your man on the ground. I'm a volunteer. Somebody goes to Loch Ray and says, I need help on Peter Riley. I'm going to see some of these websites that I'm explaining today. However, the guy on the ground in that parish in Ireland is going to go to the nearest church. Look for records that are not online. Walk the cemeteries. Look for names. Possibly go and speak to living relatives. If you go to Ireland, they're going to meet you. They're going to take you around. They're going to give you the history. They're going to show you the church. They're going to show you the cemetery. And they might set up a reunion with your living relatives. This is all volunteer. And it's massively growing as we speak. I do ask that when you ask for help, try to give them as much data as possible, not just direct line. You've got full names of all family members, dates, full dates if you know them. Give them as much as you can so that they don't start from scratch. If you've got the data, give them the data and they'll take that ball and run with it, possibly give you more information. You can click the parish button on the far left. It'll give you the alphabetized listings. But again, if you don't know the parish, just the county, go there saying, I'm looking for any Sweeneys from Galway. Here's the information I have. They might be able to go, we've got it. Excuse me. I've got to go very fast. Family search. Don't type it in on the left. Go right to the map. Click Great Britain, select Ireland, and see what records they have. Today, all of them have been transcribed. So I'm going to do a fast search. I click the records tab in the upper left and I go back to that main page. Show me all the Peter Sweeneys who died in 1896. Restrict the collection to Ireland. The search results will only pull up Ireland records. When I select that, I got a film number. No image now, but I got a film number. I can go back to catalog, clicking the top catalog button. Excuse me. Typing in my film number, it will tell me it's part of this database. Scroll down, I find the year and the film number, click on the film, I can order it. It'll be here in a couple of weeks. You can click the wiki tab and learn about any location or any subject. If they've got information on it, it's in the wiki. I'm going to fast forward very quickly through Ancestry. You can click the UK tab, select Ireland, and it will tell you the database on the left that they have specific to Ireland. You can sort it by county if needed on the right. Prony.gov, good website. I highly recommend you poke around this website. Public Records Office, Northern Ireland. It's not just Northern Ireland. they do have databases for the surrounding counties, for the surrounding towns. Poke around. Now, just two places really quick. Under the family history button, you will find how-to flyers. Search all of Ireland, not just Northern Ireland. Excellent database. I love this website. You could search all of their records online, see the images. I scrolled down in the lower right and I found they have guides on how to search for church records, regardless of religion. You can download the PDF. Excellent website on how to. Find My Past is incorrect in your handout. It redirected me to findmypast.com. It's a paid website.
It's free at the Family History Centers.
Excuse me, coffee.
Some water for
I tell it to search for this information. I got 273 results. I'm looking for John Sweeney's marriage in 1859. I can reduce the search results to just birth, marriage, death. Now I've got 4. None of them are the year I want. I go to another website, different database. Type in the same information at Roots Ireland. There's almost 700 records in their database. I want marriages, 75 images available, but when I select, narrow it by county down here, there's only 4. Now which 4 do I want? Do I really know it's 1859? It's going to cost me money to see each image. And if there's 47 images there, currently €25 is roughly, 25 credits is currently €5, about $8. But if I had 50 search results, am I going to spend $8 each time? Bothers me that there's no spouse listed with this. But I take a stab because there was only one John Sweeney in 1859 on that list. Bingo, there's my man. I got lucky. One year I spent $70. Ain't doing that again. National Archives Census, lower right corner, under Genealogy, are databases that you can search. I'm going to go quickly through the census itself. You can click either search census or click the link in the belly of the page. I can select the census here at the top. Show me all the Patrick Cannons in Galway, 1901. It's probably 500, right? 10 guys. Woo. Sorted it by age. When I look at the ages, there's only 5 guys that are about the right age. Father of my great-grandfather. And only 1 in a townland that's right next to Capadonul, where Michael was born, is Capadon-Shruen, where Patrick is living. If I click on Patrick's name, it shows me the transcribed information. Down here on the left, right below that, I can see the original image. My Patrick was a herd. This is my man. Irish graveyards. Click graveyard search. These people are an organization, I believe they're paid, that go around Ireland counties and different towns can hire them to come in, clean up the graveyards, transcribe everything there, take photographs, and they upload it to this database. So click graveyard search, it tells you what's currently loaded, sorted by county. I'm searching for any canon in Athenry, which is right near Athymen. There's the Athenry graveyard main page. When I scroll down, those are all the canons. Click on a name, shows you who's buried, and an image of that headstone. So this is like Find a Grave. It is free. But I use them together because they have different databases. These are the websites I don't have time to go through today. Please take a business card if you're interested. I believe I put it on the handout, my email. I will walk you through these if you have issues. Notice the 2 newspaper ones. They are paid, but you can find records on your family there. Discover Ireland, click Things to Do button. This is like a tourist page, but click Things to Do, great links. Great links to areas on genealogy in Ireland. Now hopefully we built that bridge and there are no tears. Thank you.
Are your slides available online?
I'm going to do the video. is going to go up online.
The website of this conference?
Actually, no, we're going to upload this to YouTube so that we can go worldwide.
And where do we find that, how to get to it?
If you email me, I will send you the link when we get it uploaded.
Thank you.
That's absolutely.
So yes, if you're interested in seeing when the video goes up, if you want to watch it again, just email me.